I am a huge advocate for cutting people off. If you are not bringing some happiness or money into my life, you gotta go. Bye, sweetie. I'm the casting director of this. Hey y'all, it's me, Jewel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. And if it's not your first time here, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. Regardless, make sure you take the time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. So I'm making a lot of videos about how hard your 20s are, how difficult and just downright disrespectful your 20s are. And I started off by calling you your 20s are a joke. However, I decided I want to start a series, which is pretty much the same thing with a different name. The name's gonna be 2wenteas. In this series, I will brew myself a cup of tea. Hopefully you brew yourself a cup of tea at home too, so we can it's like we're together even though we're apart. And I'm just gonna talk about navigating life. Today's tea I'm drinking green tea with ginger plus probiotics. Yes, with a little bit of raw honey. Comment down below your favorite type of tea. I wanna try to drink like a different tea every time I make one of these videos. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about happiness and how to be happy. Do I seem happy? Do I seem happy? Because I'm smiley and I'm glowy. Do I seem happy? So I was not always like this. I've spent a majority of my life, I'm gonna say maybe a solid 80% of my life being the CEO of the Miserable Bitch Club. Hello, my name is Jewel, and I spent too much of my life being miserable and feeling awful. As someone who has completely switched that around, I can truly say I'm a much happier person, and I want to teach you how to get there. And I want to share some tips, tricks, and advice on how I went from just ready for the earth to take its final spin to genuinely being a much happier and happy person with my life and where I am and things like that. And so my first nugget of wisdom for you is to actually understand the definition of what it means to be happy. There's the actual definition of being happy, which we'll get into in a second, and then I feel like there's the societal perception of being happy. For me, I thought being happy, happy people wake up in the morning with a big old smile on their face, oh my god, I'm alive. That's what I thought happy people were like. That's how I thought they just were around here living their lives. And for me, that's a very unattainable thing. Are there some people out there who live like that? Sure. I'm not, and that's okay. So I feel like that's the societal perception of being happy. At least for me, that was my perception of what happy people did and what happy people are. However, then you look at the actual definition of being happy, and one of the key words in this definition is a state of contentment. So I was like, okay, so it makes more sense to wake up every day and be content than it makes to wake up every day and crying tears of happiness because you're just so happy to be alive. So then I was like, okay, so I have to reach this state of just being sort of content with my life. So what can I do to sort of get me there? That's my tip, long-winded advice number one, is to strive for your everyday contentment than your everyday happiness. So what's gonna make you content? Something that isn't gonna make you, I feel like there's a spectrum, okay? I don't feel like there is a spectrum of feelings. So on one end, you have sad, depressed, all that. It's down here. And then on this end, you have happy, joy, and bliss. And they're both very extreme emotions. And we're humans and we like a state of homeostasis. We like a state of just a solid starting point, and then we can go from there. And I think for your feelings, your solid homeostasis, your solid starting point is contentment, which is right down the middle. So I think if you look for ways to be content in life and not ways for life to be perfect, it'll eventually lead to you just being a happier person overall. This goes into my point number two. It's not a point, it's a tip, it's an advice, it's a nugget of wisdom. Number two, which is to know yourself. There's no way you're gonna be happy, there's no way you're gonna be content if you don't know yourself, right? And so that takes work. Getting to know yourself is not an easy process. You're really gonna have to put in work to get to know yourself. When you know yourself, then you can know what's gonna make you more so content and more so happy in life. What I mean when I say really get to know yourself to make you more of a happier person is know what you need. People didn't get what they needed emotionally and support that they needed from their parents as a kid. And that's not the parents' fault. Most parents do the absolute best they can. So I'm not bashing parents. Mom, I'm not bashing you if you're watching this. But most people just don't get what they need from their parents. And so a big part of getting to know yourself is growing up and realizing what you need now as an adult and going from there, because you can't spend your whole life blaming your parents for things you shouldn't have. So take the time to figure out who you are as a person and what you need. Because not everyone in your life, no matter how much you love them or they love you, can give you what you need. So you have to be that person to give yourself what you need. So then this goes into my next nugget of wisdom, which is to just simply do things that spark joy. I won't spend too much time on that. You probably already heard this before. It can be as simple as waking up earlier for work. It can be as simple as having pancakes for dinner. And it can be as complicated as booking a trip to Bora Bora for 2 months. You know, like it all depends on where we are. Even if when you do it, you don't feel happy, again, back to that definition. When I drink tea, I'm not like, oh my God, the best cup of tea I've had. What was that accent? Good shit. If it doesn't spark joy, kick it to the curb. I think people get too comfortable with their lives. I have to, me included, even if it's a bad situation. Your partner, not good for you, making you sad, stressed, and depressed, get rid of them. It's gonna hurt at first and maybe make you even sadder, but in the end, it will make you a happier person. It's gonna make you uncomfortable. Oh, but we've been together for 5 years. Who cares? You got the next like 40, 50, 60 years of your life, and you wanna spend it like this? No! You hate your job? Find a new one. You got that one friend who's always bringing you down? Screw them. Find more friends or be alone for a while. This can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, but overall, the overarching theme is that you run this ish. You run this life. And it's gonna take some time to figure out how to run it, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, make your life yours. And also with that, if you're not into this, okay, cool, whatever. If you are, great. And if you're not sure, then at least give it a go, is meditation. If you really want to get to know yourself, try meditating. Sit down for 5 minutes and observe your thoughts. Ooh, that thought does not feel good. Okay, great. Now time to rewire the way you think. Or if you're into it and you're like a religious person, try praying. Just spend some time with yourself in a higher being and like really just like dig in and get to know yourself. Like shit's scary. Like it's a lot of work, but I have faith you can do it, and after you do it, you'll feel a lot better. I am a huge advocate for cutting people off. If you are not bringing some happiness or money into my life, you gotta go. Like you really gotta get the hell out of here. I'm serious, and that's for anyone, friends, family members, coworkers, like I don't care. Like if you are not enhancing my life in some way, shape, or form, bye, sweetie. I'm the casting director of this, and you did not make the cut, so you gotta get the hell out of here. Next, speaking of people who are in your life, be your own best friend and be your own advocate. Being your own best friend, for some people, I understand it's hard. Me, I'm a natural loner, so it wasn't too complicated for me. Learn how to be alone, but not to be lonely, because I mean, you spend a lot of time alone, like that's okay. Okay, so we only have 2 more. This video's getting a little bit long, but that's okay because we're hanging out, and I'm not even halfway done with my tea yet. Have yourself a good cry and a good mental breakdown. Yes, today's Saturday. I was in my therapist's office bawling on Thursday. Yeah, I sure was. And here I am now, and all smiles, and genuinely I feel fine. I feel content. We're all good here because I had to give myself that time to cry. I sat in the shower and bawled like a newborn infant. I sure did this week. I sure did, because I hate nothing more than fake positivity. I hate it. I don't think it's good for you. I know it's not good for you. I loathe it. I do not like it. And so you can't you can't be a happy person if you're repressing all of these emotions. My last point, I saved this for the end of the video. If you made this far, hey, thank you. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. I remind you again, because it's gonna sound really depressing and it's gonna be like, Jewel, what type of advice is that? But it helped me a lot. My last tip is to realize how insignificant you are on this planet. That helped me release a lot of anxiety and pressure that I put on myself, to realize how insignificant I am. This world has what, 7 billion people on it? That's not even the craziest part. Okay, I'm like 1 in literally 7 billion, right? And then we're on this floating rock in this vastness of gravity. We're not even the biggest fucking planet. There are planets that are a lot bigger than us. In the grand realm of just existence, of the things that just exist in this stratosphere, I am just so insignificant. Sometimes I feel a little bit down and hard on myself because, like, I don't know, I spent like 2 hours scrolling on my phone when I could be like hustling and making more money and doing something more productive. Again, I live on top. Not even inside. I live on top of a really big round rock in the middle of the galaxy. And I'm upset because I'm not being productive enough. On top of a rock, I am on this fake planet. But also, like, don't use that to just like completely ignore your everyday responsibilities, you know. There needs to be a balance between the two. And that's how I became a happier person in a nutshell. If you are not a happy person right now, if you're a little bit stressed, depressed, and miserable, that's cool, that's fine. As long as you're working towards something, you're clearly working towards something because you're watching this video. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, I'll remind you one more good time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next video. So have a great day, have a great week, have a great life, and don't forget to drink your tea. Cheers, bye.